In this segment, we'll be building an outdoor landing and some stairs. We're trying to get from this level here down to this level here. So the landing will go right here, the stairs will go right here. We'll be taking you through this step by step to show you the tools that you need, as well as every process that we go through to get a nice even set of stairs going down. When we're building the stairs, there are risers and there are treads. Treads are what you step on, risers are what goes straight up, okay? We have to make sure that they're even from the top all the way down to the bottom. You can't have stairs that are different heights because you'll trip. Your eye and your feet won't catch that difference. Your step will miss and you'll trip. So our whole goal in building stairs is thinking about what kind of finishes we're going to have on top, if we're going to have brick or if we're going to have slate, because we have to take that into account when we're building our stairs. So at the end, our goal is to have a nice flat landing with even stairs going down to the lower level. This project, like any other, has its own quirks. You're going to run into small things, small hurdles that you have to hop over. And in this case, we have, say right here, this isn't something we're going to want to see when we're finished building the stairs. We want to hide this. This is kind of an attractive nuisance for children. This little 7 or 8 inch gap here is something that we have to bear in mind when we're building our landing. So we're either going to have to put a railing up here or continue the landing over to the house to protect anyone from falling down in this hole. And eventually what we really want to do is just make this whole opening disappear. Continue our wall over or fill this in somehow so we don't have this gap inside here. We definitely want to make sure that we have room to have a wide enough stair so it feels comfortable going down. And the other thing is, with this project, is we're concerned about what we're going to do underneath the stairs. The owner wants to make sure that they have enough room to put their lawnmower underneath the stairs, and so this door has to be adequate to get the lawnmower underneath the stairs when we're finished. Before we pound any nails, there's always the stage of planning. This is the part where we just decide how far the stairs are going to go out, what kind of heights we have, what kind of distance we have, whether or not we want to extend our stairs past this walkway or try to hold them a little bit closer. We want to have stairs that are, well, 12 inches roughly, because we can step on them easier. Risers cannot be any higher than 8 inches. So we'll take our heights and that'll give us our length, and in the end we'll have a nice even step to go up to our landing. In this first stage of planning, things we'll need are tape measure, a calculator that gives us numbers in inches. I use a very simple one. It's called a Construction Pro. You can get it at any lumber yard. It's about $30. The neat thing about this is you can measure in feet and inches, and it will give you tenths of inches, eighths of inches, whatever you like, and it makes your figuring of stairs a lot easier than longhand on a piece of paper. The other thing that we'll need is a snap line so we can get the stair nice and even as it goes across the concrete pad here. And we'll need a level to verify that this area down here is level and this area up here is level as well. Generally what we'll do is we'll make a nice level line across the wall. We'll measure from the line down to this pad and up to the top of the wall at the beginning of the stair up here, and we'll do the same at the end of the stair. We'll measure down from the line and up from the line to verify that we have the same distance down to the slab in both areas and the same distance up to the top of the wall. We want to do this because we don't want our stair to end up like this when we planned it to be like this. So the treads on the stair if this is higher, the treads on the stairs will start looking like this, and you'll feel like you're falling over as you're going up the stairs. We poured this earlier in the year. We made sure that this was nice and level when we poured it, so we really don't have to check it. But I recommend that you check any area that you're going to put stairs because this distance here is going to qualify how much room you have between this area. The landing coming down to here, this level here is going to give you the height difference between the top of the landing and the bottom of the stair that you have to dice up into small numbers to give you equal stairs going up to the landing. We've placed a brick on top of the wall, and we've left a little gap here simulating the grout line that he'll have after he places brick pavers on top of his patio here. This top of the brick is the height, whatever you're going to put on top of your patio or your deck or whatever the finish product is that you're going to put on the deck, that's the elevation that you're going to want to measure to. We don't want to measure here and then build our stairs and then go ahead and put this on top, because this first step will be bigger than the rest of them. Let's measure to the top of this brick. We have roughly 76.5 inches, give or take 1/8 of an inch. 76.5 will work well. This is the calculator I mentioned earlier. What we're going to do is put in 76.5 inches, and we're going to divide that by 8 inches, because our risers are going to be at least 8 inches. That gives us 9.5 stairs. So what we'll do is we'll round up to 10. So we'll clear this out. We'll round up to 10. And we'll multiply that by the 12-inch tread, the part that you step on. 10 times 12 inches. I think we know what that's going to be. 120 inches. So that's how long our staircase will be. Now that we've decided that we have 10 stairs, we go back to our original number of 76.5 inches, which is the elevation, and we divide that by the 10 stairs. So now we know that each of our risers are going to be 7.65 inches. We'll convert that to inches. Now we know that each riser is going to be 7 5/8 inches tall, and each tread is going to be 12 inches long. That will give us 120 inches of stair, and it'll give us our 76.5 inches of height. And we're going to do one more trick to these stairs to bring them back a little bit more so we can save a little room down at the bottom. What we're going to do is when we cut our horse is the framing material that goes underneath the stairs that's cut like a stair. What we'll do is we'll use the landing as the first step, and we'll hold our horse down a little bit so it actually becomes the second step. What that does is it shortens our stair by 1 step and brings it a little bit closer in and saves us a little bit of room. Well, it's all within 1/8 of an inch. A little bit here, a little bit there, but it's very close to level. Of course, we knew that. We poured it, so we were pretty safe to say that it was good. But it's always good to verify things like that, even if you think you did a good job in the beginning. Our next step is to measure the height of the landing up here. We have to remember what's on top of the landing. In this case, we've put a brick and a space between the brick for the grout. Now this is going to give us our total elevation from the lower slab up to the upper slab. Down at the bottom landing here, there'll be about 1.5 inches of material. It'll be 1 inch of brick and 1/2 inch of grout. Now that 1.5 inches will have to be taken into account when we measure the overall height from the lower slab to the upper slab. So if we head over here and measure, we have 76.5 inches. From that, we're going to have to take the 1.5 inches that's down here at the bottom and subtract that from the 76.5, giving us a total height of the stairs of being 75 inches. We know our height from the lower slab to the upper slab. but a picture tells 1,000 words. Let me give you a diagram to show you how we're going to build these stairs. We have our upper landing here with our brick and our little gap for the grout. We have our lower slab down here with our small brick and our grout. We know that from this height over here down to this height here, we have 75 inches. Again, that's from the top of this brick to the top of this brick. All right, we know that each of our risers is 7.5 inches. We know that we have 10 stairs. And we know that each of our treads are 12 inches. All right? So our overall length from the front of our landing to our last stair is 120 inches. What we're going to do though, instead of putting our first stair like this, we're going to use the landing as our first stair. Now this is my little trick. If we come down 7.5 inches and run our stair out this way, in effect, the landing becomes the first stair, and we can move the whole stair back 12 inches. So we're going to be down here at 108 inches to the end of our stair. And that's important for us because we don't want to get past our landing here. We want as much room down there to be able to turn and go across that lower landing. So we have, at this point, we have one stair here, so that gives us 9 stairs. So I'm going to try this. I don't know if it'll work out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that last one's a little bit short, but you get the idea. What we do is we'll end up with a horse that looks something like this. Oops, excuse me. We'll cut the bottom off flat. And this is the area that's going to go right here. Now that we have our design, we will take our 2x12 and we'll take our numbers of 7.5 and 12 and make our cuts down the 2x12. Once we're finished with cutting out the notches for the stairs, this is the big step right here. This is what everyone needs to think about when they build stairs. If this is our brick up here like this, and we've used this as our height, and we've come down 7.5 inches, it's all going to look fine once we finish building the stair, but there's things we have to bear in mind. We're going to put some plywood on this stair. So that's 3/4 of an inch. Then we're going to put some mortar on this stair, which is another 1/2 inch. And then we're going to put a brick on top of this stair that is, say, 2 inches. So what we come up with is 3¼ inches. That 3¼ inches that's going to be added onto this will all of a sudden take away from that 7.5 inches, and we'll have a very short step up there. We account for that by taking this 3¼ inches and taking it off the bottom of the horse. So we would take, 3¼ inches. 3¼ inches off the bottom of this horse. We'll effectively drop the whole horse down 3¼ inches. So when this is all built up like this, we'll still have our 7½ inches. Now you say, oh no, now we've taken so much off this, we're going to have a very short step on the bottom. But you have to remember, down here you're also going to get your plywood, your grout, and your brick, which will bring you back up to the 7½ inches.
Home Improvement Camp. Have at it.